Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. I'm your host, Bárbara Ferreira Santos. On this episode of Red Carpet, we have a Mozambican artist who paints with feet, an all-female media startup fighting stigma in Somalia, and Ladysmith Black Mambazo celebrate Mandela in Johannesburg. Let's go! We'll begin the show with some highlights of the latest entertainment news around the world. We'll begin with the recently announced Emmy nominations. HBO drama Succession, the story of a wealthy media mogul and his family, topped the list with 25 nods, including one for Best Drama Series. Rivals for Best Drama include Korean series Squid Game and sci-fi hit Stranger Things from Netflix, and HBO's Euphoria about high school students navigating the world. Ted Lasso from Apple TV Plus nabbed 20 nominations and will defend its title as last year's Best Comedy. It will face off against Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, among others. Winners will be announced at a televised ceremony on September 12th. Singer Jennifer Lopez and actor Ben Affleck have married in Las Vegas, media reported last weekend after the celebrity couple rekindled a romance almost 20 years after they first got together. The couple announced their matrimony in a newsletter from Lopez, revealing that they flew to the desert city in Nevada to gain a marriage license and wed at a chapel late Saturday, according to People magazine. The newsletter was signed Mrs. Jennifer Lynn Affleck, the Los Angeles Times reported, denoting a possible name change for the award-winning entertainer. In more film news, Daniel Kaluuya will not be reprising his role in Marvel and Disney's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, according to Variety. Kaluuya played the role of W'Kabi in 2018's Black Panther, the head of security for the border tribes. Variety reported that Kaluuya was asked to return but had already committed to star in Jordan Peele's upcoming horror film Nope. Kaluuya was Oscar nominated for his starring role in Peele's 2017 hit Get Out. And now to some music news. Renowned Nigerian singing, dancing, and performing duo made up of brothers Peter and Paul Okoye, popularly known as P Square, are set to drop a new song. Having reunited in November 2021 following a 5-year split, they have not dropped music together as a group since then. In anticipation of the release of 2 singles, the duo revealed Jaye on Twitter, a song that incorporates a mapiano. In more music news, Afrobeats queen Tiwa Savage was awarded an honorary doctorate at her alma mater, University of Kent, in the United Kingdom. Tiwa studied business at Kent University before embarking on a successful music career. Now to some art news. Nicktar Benedito, an artist in south-central Mozambique, has physical disabilities that have limited the use of his hands but honed his determination and empathy. André Batista reports from Chimoio, capital of Manica province, in this story narrated by Carol Greensburg.
Nicktar Benedito knows about coping with limitations. He was born with a condition that twisted his limbs and hampered the use of his hands and arms. Undeterred, the Mozambican man taught himself to draw and paint with his feet to better express himself. The artist says the COVID-19 pandemic is the biggest obstacle he has encountered in his 37 years. It inspired him to produce a series of works he calls The Cry of the World.
I've been painting what the world cried many times.
This series portrays women and girls for whom the COVID pandemic has been particularly hard. UNICEF has reported widespread increases in child marriage and cutbacks in girls' schooling, a concern also expressed by authorities in Mozambique's Manica province, where Benedito lives. His new works focus on females, some pregnant, all struggling.
When COVID started, people in rural areas didn't understand what it was. These women carried everything and left the village because they thought COVID-19 was a spell. That's why they appear on their backs.
One piece shows a beautiful girl setting out in the morning with a hoe and jar. She looks sad because she's missing school, Benedito said.
She must go to work in the field, something she didn't want to do, but she's forced to do so because she has married early.
Pandemic restrictions have prevented Benedito from exhibiting his work beyond his modest home in Chimoio town. He said he has sold paintings to his friends, but also depends on a monthly government food basket to make ends meet. He's not complaining.
For me, art is not about the money. Art is helping people to look at the world with different eyes.
When he was a child, Benedito's disabilities kept him from playing with others. He started drawing to relieve his loneliness. Now he envisions starting an art school for youngsters with or without disabilities.
I want to gather many children and teach art, but I won't be able to do it alone.
Benedito's goal is to help others create and see compassionately, and to leave that as part of his legacy. For Andre Baptista in Chimoio, Mozambique, Carol Gunsberg, VOA News.
Some of the most popular public art in the northwest U.S. city of Seattle in Washington state comes from an artist who has battled homelessness and addiction. VOA's Natasha Mosgovaya brings us the story of Ryan Henry Ward.
All over Seattle, Washington, you can find fun, colorful creatures: bears, squirrels, squids, buffaloes, unicorns, celebrating the city's creative spirit. Muralist Ryan Henry Ward's newest works are lively additions to walls of several small businesses and a local preschool.
I'm painting a Sasquatch and kind of a self-portrait, obviously. He likes his coffee, I like my coffee. And there's a lot of Pacific Northwest and Seattle kind of elements in this painting. So we got Mount Rainier, which is a big volcano mountain close to Seattle. And then there's the Seattle skyline in the background with the Space Needle and some other little features. And we're the evergreen state, so I put a evergreen tree in there.
Not only do Ward's brightly colored wild creations bring joy to the city, but they also celebrate his overcoming a dark period of his life, one that began with pain medication following a four-wheeler accident.
Got addicted to opiates and got addicted to alcohol, and just kind of got into really heavy use of those things so I could originally kind of manage my pain, and then it just kind of shifted into addiction. And that kind of created some mental health crisis in my life.
That addiction led to homelessness.
It's hard out there and it's dangerous out there. And I saw a lot of brutal things living on the streets. And yeah, it's been about 10 years since then, and I just live with a sober mind, and I do all this artwork from a perspective of clarity, I guess.
Ward's designs are now seen in local gift shops, mini-golf decorations, books, and now an exhibit where visitors are encouraged to touch the art.
I created more of like a kind of like a record store kind of feel to my place, where you get to shuffle through the art with your hands and you get to pull out and kind of discover it.
Not all his work is bright. Ward says he still explores the abstract, dark and moody.
So the hair is kind of over his face, and he doesn't have like high-functioning limbs, and the colors are more muted, and so this is kind of like pulling on a feeling of like I still want to like participate and show up for the day, but I don't really want that to be around other people, or I don't want to be seen.
When he's feeling low, Ward says it is the discipline of painting every day that gets him through. Natasha Mosgovaya, VOA News, Seattle.
Armed with mobile phones, tripods, and laptops, the crew at Bilam Media, a Somali startup staffed entirely by women, is on a mission to break the silence around gendered violence in the African nation. Let's take a look.
Nazrin Mohammed Ibrahim isn't taking a selfie, but she is documenting Mogadishu from a different perspective. She's the editor-in-chief of Bilam Media, an all-female startup covering stories that no one else wants to tell. about women.
At
Bilan Media, we focus on stories that are crucial for the Somali communities we live in. The stories are about experiences people think are normal, but these are issues that are not investigated properly. If it were to be investigated and broadcast, then we might find solutions for the future.
The organisation is funded by the United Nations Development Programme. The 6 female journalists who work at Bilan are in charge of every stage of production, from filming to interviewing to editing. And their coverage reflects what it's like to be a woman in this conservative country. Their work includes profiles of prominent Somali women, but around 80% of their output is about issues such as sexual and domestic violence, topics, they say, people are often too ashamed to discuss.
As female Somali journalists, we encourage and advocate for the rights of voiceless women.
The country has yet to pass its first sexual offences bill. It's been in the works for almost a decade. Perpetrators are rarely prosecuted and victims can face a backlash, so it can be hard to get women to speak up.
It's a great start-up for society, especially for women. It tries to cover the needs of women because it gives voice to the voiceless and focuses on the stories of vulnerable women. I think that's really important right now.
Bilan was launched in April, and so far the team say that the response has been encouraging. In a man's world, these women are shooting for change.
And let's close the show with some music news. Internationally acclaimed group Ladysmith Black Mambazo returned to South Africa for a concert to celebrate the life of Nelson Mandela ahead of Mandela Day. Here's more.
The harmonies of Ladysmith Black Mambazo floated through a packed Johannesburg auditorium on Sunday as the 5-time Grammy-winning group sang Long Walk to Freedom. This concert in the South African city's main theatre, celebrating the life of peace icon Nelson Mandela. Taking place the day before the UN-decreed Mandela Day, the gig was a rare opportunity for South Africans to interact with the group, who spent most of their time internationally touring. Sibongiseni Shabalala, son of the group's late founder Joseph Shabalala, said it felt great to perform for their hero.
My father wrote a song, special song for him, called Long Walk to Freedom, which talked about Datu Madiba's work. You know, he's working for peace, making sure that everyone is safe. Because if he came out and said, "Oh, I've been in prison and being bitter, now it's my time to go," and we wouldn't be where we are today. So we are here today because of his life and his inspiration to the people that we must all live together in peace. South Africa is for everyone.
Ladysmith Black Mambazo cemented their global recognition after a breakthrough collaboration with Paul Simon on the 1986 album Graceland. They have since cut songs with major names ranging from Dolly Parton to recently featuring on Nigerian hitmaker Burna Boy's latest album.
Thanks for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I'm your host, Barbara Ferreira Santos. For more on your entertainment news, check us out on www.voaafrica.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.